So you spent hundreds of dollars on new computer components, you got it all assembled, it posted, woohoo! But now before you can accomplish any work, you need to spend hundreds more dollars on an operating system and software. Or do you? What if I told you that you can do most everything you need or want to do on a PC for free? Stick around and I'll show you the 5 free software applications everyone should have. Hey guys, welcome to Elevated Systems. I'm your host CJ. Just a couple of weeks ago, I showed you how to build this $250 home office PC. You can check that out right here if you're interested. Now, it was a pretty good how to build a PC video, in my unbiased opinion of course, but the video ended me with turning on the newly assembled PC and ensuring it booted into the BIOS menu. It did, and mission accomplished, at least for the mission objectives of that video and most PC build videos on YouTube. But if you actually need to do some work on the PC, the BIOS menu isn't where you can do that. And for many, the $250 price point associated with the system might seem disingenuous, especially considering a copy of Windows 10 can set you back well over $100. Add an office productivity suite to that and maybe some photo or video editing software, and now the PC cost itself can be dwarfed by the software expenses. So today I'm going to show you 5 completely free software applications to get this newly built PC up and running with all the productivity software you need to do whatever it is you need to do. Now, before I get into the first piece of software, I'm going to make the assumption that you followed the link I included in the build video and you would at least have Windows installed. But if not, that's okay. If you just have a freshly built computer with no operating system installed, you can skip ahead to this point here to learn about, spoiler alert, a free operating system. Oh, and also, Windows is a free operating system. Shh, more about that later. But regardless of everything, you'll need at least access to a working computer with internet to download an operating system and create a bootable USB thumb drive. So let's get into the software. And for most people, a work computer means running an office productivity suite like Microsoft Office. But if you don't have access to, say, an Office 365 account through your company or school, you have to shell out $100 a year to access those apps. Now, there are a few really good free alternatives to Microsoft's industry standards Office suite, including Google's web-based apps, but I prefer LibreOffice. I'll get into why in a bit, but first, let's get it downloaded. Links to everything will be in the description below. First, let's go to the download page, find the latest version, select your operating system, and download. And our installation package is downloading. Once that's complete, we can launch the installer. Let it do its thing. And now we can take a quick look at the app. In the suite, we have your basic document writer, spreadsheet app, presentation app, and database. There are also very useful apps for creating vector-based graphics and complex math formulas. We'll just take a quick look at a couple, starting with the document writer. This is a fully functional document writing app with all the same bells and whistles as MS Word, and why I prefer LibreOffice over, say, OpenOffice or FreeOffice is because I find it to have the best compatibility with Microsoft's Office suite. You can even save your files in the native MS Office formats. Additionally, if I open a spreadsheet that was created in Microsoft Excel, with Excel-specific formats, it opens in LibreOffice Calc with all the original formatting. I never really had a compatibility problem with LibreOffice. Now, one of the applications that isn't included with LibreOffice is an email application, something like Outlook. So if you're working from home, you have multiple email addresses to monitor, and no access to a web-based version of Outlook, it's okay. There's a free and better version of Outlook called Thunderbird. Like every app I'm going to show you today, all you need to do is download it from the web, and install it. Once it's installed, just set up your email accounts. Free accounts like Gmail or Hotmail. Does anyone have Hotmail anymore? Anyway, they set up automatically. For corporate email, you may need to use manual settings and get the incoming and outgoing server info from your IT guys or gals. I'm going to set up my business email account using my private server settings. Now I've set up my email account, my inbox is populated. I've blurred my inbox for privacy, but it all populated nicely. Now I'll send a test message. I can confirm that I got it on the Gmail account, and the reply has been received. That whole process took about 3 minutes. Now, what if your computer work leans more on the creative side, say photo editing or digital painting and art? Well, then you want Photoshop, right? And if you can afford to shell out $21 a month, you can have it. Or for the thriftier of us, you can get GIMP or GNU Image Manipulation Program. Again, let's download and get it installed. Now, once we launch it, you can see it's fairly similar to Photoshop, and like Photoshop, all the panels are editable, so you can configure the layout any way you want. Compatibility is great. Let's open a PSD file I created in Photoshop. You can see it opens with all the layers intact along with their correct modes, filters, and opacities. I can continue to edit this project and then can save it either in GIMP's native format or I can export it as a PSD or any other format you can think of. I'll just export this as a simple JPEG. And that's it. So what about video editing? Again, the popular choice of Premiere Pro will set you back another $21 a month. Or for the grand total of free, you can download and install one of the best video editing apps out there, DaVinci Resolve. Now, Resolve comes in two flavors. There's the free version and the Resolve Studio, which is the paid version. We're going to look at the free version, of course. So let's grab the Windows version, fill out our details to get it downloaded. This installation package comes zipped, so let's extract. And now install. Here you can select the components and support packages needed to run. The installer will check to see what is already installed on your system. The only utility that isn't pre-selected is the Fairlight Studio utility, and if you want to have some more audio editing capabilities, you should select that too. So let's speed through the installation process. There are separate installers for each of the components, but they'll all launch automatically. And now let's launch Resolve. On first launch, you'll have the option to take a welcome tour. I recommend that. But today, I'll skip that and get the app set up real quick. Now, keep in mind I'm using a 2-core, 4-thread APU-only system here, which you can see does meet minimum requirements, but if video editing is your main thing, I would go with a more powerful system. However, today, I do want to demonstrate that it can be done on this $250 PC. Another cool thing is if you're moving from another editor, you can select that keyboard layout to lessen the learning curve. So now I'm just going to quickly demonstrate editing a gameplay clip, and for this demo I'm intentionally making it as hard as possible on the PC using 4K video clip and downsampling to 1080p. And you can see that as I scrub the timeline, it's certainly not ideal, but it is doable. So I'll just make a few cuts, add some transitions, an audio track. And I spent longer than I planned editing, so let's jump ahead and add some very basic color grading just to give the processor a bit more work to do. And now I want to output the final product. And for that, I'll just select the YouTube 1080p preset, give it a title, and render. Let's speed through the process. It took 3 minutes and 46 seconds to render a 1.5 minute video. To be honest, that's not too bad, again, considering the downsampled clip, transitions, keyframing, and color grading on a $50 CPU. Now, if you're curious and want to see the rendered video, I uploaded it. It's unlisted, but I'll post a link in the description below. Okay, so maybe you don't need any of the software I've covered thus far. Not everyone does, but what everyone does need is an operating system. And the market share leader Windows 10 will set you back $139. Now, I do have Windows 10 Home Edition installed and running on this system, but it isn't activated, meaning I haven't paid for anything yet. So what are my restrictions? Well, if I try to personalize my background or color scheme or anything, I can't. Also, the Activate Windows watermark will be ever present on your screen. However, you probably noticed that although Windows isn't activated on this system, I do have a custom background and there is no watermark. Now, because I don't want to risk bringing the legal wrath of the corporate world upon me, I won't be showing you how to do that, but... And honestly, I'm not endorsing not paying a company for the software you use. I run a fully licensed copy of Windows 10 Pro on my main rig. I'm just demonstrating that if you can't afford it right away, like I can't afford to buy it for every temporary build I do for this channel, you can run Windows until you can afford to license it. But what I do fully endorse is free operating systems, and that means Linux. Now, don't run away. Linux has come a long way, and today you can run a Linux operating system full-time without ever needing to type one command into a terminal. Now, Linux comes in many flavors known as distros or distributions, and each Linux user has their favorite distro. I'm just going to cover one of the most popular OSs for users new to Linux, and that's Ubuntu. So, let's get it downloaded. Now, while you can always download the latest and greatest version, in this case 19.10, I always recommend the latest long-term support version for new users. One of the great features of most Linux operating systems is that you can run them right from a USB thumb drive. But to do that, we need another small app called Rufus to create that USB. So let's download that. And run it. Now you want to select your USB device to install to, and now select the Ubuntu ISO you downloaded. All the other settings should be these defaults. If so, just click Start. Once it's done, you just restart your computer to boot from your USB. You'll be presented with the option to try Ubuntu, select that, and Ubuntu will load as your operating system. Now at this point, nothing has been written to your system hard drive. Ubuntu is fully functional and running directly from the USB along with all its pre-installed apps, including the LibreOffice suite I covered earlier and Thunderbird Mail. All the apps are fully functional and you can try the OS for as long as you want, but keep in mind it'll be considerably slower than normal running from a USB. But once you're ready, just select Install Ubuntu. Now, prior to running the live USB, I unplugged my Windows SSD and installed a new hard drive to the computer to install Ubuntu on. That's an option, or if you're running Windows, you'll have the option to install Ubuntu alongside Windows and have a dual boot system. Ubuntu will carve out a piece of your unused disk space, and you'll be able to select either Windows or Ubuntu when you start your computer. For this demo, I'll just be doing a clean install on the new hard drive. It's pretty self-explanatory, so I'll speed through it. Once it's done, just restart. And now you have a nice free operating system. One of the other great features of Ubuntu is gone now is the need to go online, find the software you want, download it, unpack it, install it, because Ubuntu has a software center. Anyone familiar with the Apple App Store or Google Play Store will be familiar with this. Just find the software you want. In this case, let's install GIMP again. Much easier this way. And now here it is, ready to use. Let's shut this down and wrap this up. That's it, guys. Now you can take a computer you just built and get it up and running with pretty much anything you need to do for free. I hope you learned something. That's always my goal. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. As always, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. It really does help. And maybe check out some of my other videos. You'll probably like those too. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.